Hello, everybody. Welcome to Beyond Boundaries with Lisa Richmond. I'm Lisa Richmond, and this is Thoughtful Thursday. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. And if you're a returning guest, thank you so much for all your support. And so, yeah, I come here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday to bring through messages from divine guidance system, from spirit, angelic realms, through channel, mediumship, cards, tarot, and then I also use sound frequency and meditation on Saturdays. Every week is something different. So, yeah, check out my channel. My readings are timeless, and so are my meditations. So, yeah, have a look. See if there's anything that comes up. If you've stumbled upon this video, chances are there's something here for you. So Thursdays, I don't use cards. I use cards just on Tuesdays, Tarot Tuesdays. But both are very like divinely guided. Both Tuesdays and Thursdays, well, and Saturdays, obviously. But the messages that come through are usually direct channel from spirit for what the collective needs to hear at the moment. A message for individuals tuning in, because as we know, time is an illusion to the third dimension, and so whenever somebody is tuning into this, there'll be a channeled message directly for you to hear. So, I don't know. Like, I have no idea what spirit wants me to talk about today, so I'm just going to tune right in and see what comes through. So, they're talking about like momentous change energy is what they called it. So we are in the process of momentous change. And through this change energy, we are experiencing a plethora of, okay, use words that I use, like they're saying of varying degrees. Like change is so prevalent in our lives right now, and it'll surface, it'll show up in many, many, many different ways, depending on the perspective of the individuals with whom are viewing it. So, if some of us have very specific views on life, views on the way things should be or shouldn't be, as far as family dynamics, government, the way that your household is run, the way that you do things. If you have a very stringent kind of plan on things, you're going to feel this the most, because what's happening is that there is a revolutionary energy surfacing, and it is causing a lot of change energy. So if you're somebody who has difficulty with change, then it's time for you to maybe start working with yourself. Don't go outside of yourself first, because then you'll feel out of control. But working with with yourself to be able to start becoming more comfortable and safe. It's a safety thing with change, because what has formed your perception of change being a difficult thing would be the feelings that are elicited when change occurs. So in the past, when there's been massive change for you, what did it bring up? Did it bring up feelings of unsafety? Did it bring up feelings of your things changing around you that you didn't have your voice and say in, to be able to feel like you weren't seen or heard with? What else are they saying? With like almost like the feelings of goodbyes. Like if big change happens, do we leave people, places, things, animals, commitments, or something like that? Like there's some like big they're showing me like big heart things that need to be mended within your own personal perception of change. And once you can go in and start to heal those woundings of your perception of change from your past, the easier this next couple years are going to be for you, because the change that is coming in a revolutionary way is inevitable. It's how you interact with the change that is going to very much affect how this plays out for you. Okay, Spirit, give me more on that. Okay, so there's not a specific reference point of like change in the way of like, okay, this is happening on this date, and that because my guides and the guidance team coming through right now is very reluctant to be able to give, because it's impossible. It's impossible to say this is exactly what's going to happen for this and this and this. It's just a trajectory based on the perception of the reality in which we are perceiving our surroundings. So the energy coming through right now for the collective is, how can you create your life so that you can feel comfortable with changes that happen outside of yourself? So you can look at something and perceive that as being directly affecting you. Like if you're looking at something on a global scale, you can take in that information and feel like it directly applies to you. Or you can take in that information and say, okay, with this information, how can I integrate it so that I still am feeling like I'm creating my own perception of my reality, which is what is real for me right now, right? In a universal law kind of way, what is real for me right now? I'll take myself for instance. I have an incredibly warm, safe home that I sleep in every night with my children close by. And I'm incredibly grateful for that. And so to help me integrate any feelings of dis-ease or dysregulation of my safety or security, I bring into the right now. I'm currently sitting in a warm home, surrounded by loving individuals. Okay. And that might be enough to get me to the next point in which I have to kind of tune in again. What's real? What's safe right now? The feeling that I'm feeling is more of an anticipatory energy that they're saying, not as a warning, but like helping everybody practice how to create their own sense of safety, security, reality within their own energy, so that when big change does occur in different capacities, which is inevitably going to happen because nothing stays stagnant, everything is about change. But the message here is really about how you can create that sense of safety within yourself and your own reality, so that whatever transpires collectively and outside of yourself, you can still come home to your own sense of safety and security, no matter what. No matter what goes down. And you can continue to work with your guidance team by asking for help within helping you to create the perception that you need in order to elicit the sense of safety and security that helps you, right? Like your guidance team and the universe is working in your favor, but the universal law of things showing up based on your perception of what you put out there is not going to change, because that's a universal law. So if you're still being guided by a sense of fear and dis-ease and resistancy when things come up, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I remember this feeling, I'm going to go back into that state of fear or lack or of the past, then naturally you're going to be taken out of that vibration that you were in that higher frequency. You're going to be taken out of it and into the energy of that fear and lack. And chances are, if that happens, it's because that connection has been made so many times in the past, whether you were in control of it in the past or not. Maybe somebody, like with the way you were raised, or the society in which you were raised in, or the belief systems that you carried for such a long period of time were kind of laced with that perception that it's easy to fall into that path again. But the whole point of this is saying your energy is always moving. Energy is never, it's always moving. And so for you, if you're wanting to continue to forge forward in your own path of authenticity in the highest consciousness, in which you're being led to do. If you're watching this, this is for you. You're being led to move forward in this higher consciousness frequency. And along the path, there's going to be old triggers that elicits old fears, but it's in which how you handle that that's going to dictate the swing of whether you go this way or that way, right? You can say, oh my gosh, there's this old thing that came up and it's surfacing, and I have all these old memories that I don't know if I repressed or I just didn't have before, but they're coming up now. They're coming up now because you're in a frequency that you're able to work through them. If you go back down into the energy in which they were created in the first place, you're not going to move through anything. The reason why they're surfacing now is because you've come out of that energy or that frequency, and you're able to see it from a clearer perspective. And then how do you want to deal with it based on the energy that you've created around yourself of safety, security, love, home, the generative energy that you've created. So this is a beautiful, beautiful message of validation that you're doing it. Don't forget that you're the one forging forward, though. You're the one who's leading in this path, in this direction. You're the one who's able to connect into your higher self and into that light to be able to forge forward and to create the reality in which you choose and that you've chosen to be in at this time, right now. There's no mistakes. But if you keep getting pulled into fear stuff, that's because your energy frequency is saying you still have these connections to these old fear-based beliefs or these old fears that are lying in your energy field still. These old trauma memories, like, they're not for you to go back in and relive. They're for you to say, oh my gosh, look at what has surfaced. It's still living in my body. I can feel it coming up on this part of my body or whatever. And then moving it through, allowing yourself to move that energy through, allowing yourself to come face to face with this memory, this suppressed energy that might be surfacing, and you saying, I stand forward in the truest version of myself to be able to bring forward love and light to this situation and heal it with the highest intention from the Christ consciousness that moves through all of us. I hold and nurture this memory, this energy, and to be able to transmute it with light and love. And I'm not saying I spiritually bypass this. I'm saying that you might have to sit with these and to give it the nurturing and the love that it needs for an extended amount of time. But that energy is available to you now. And to know that if you go back into the frequency in which it was created and you then spin in there for a while, I mean, it might happen, but know that you have the ability to pull yourself into this higher level frequency because it's available to you now, because that's what you're residing in. This message is for you. Okay, so maybe this is about creating a routine for yourself so that you can get more and more comfortable with residing in this higher frequency, so that when you have to do some tending to, some nurturing and some love in different timelines or different memories or different formats, you can do that without being pulled back into that timeline and then eliciting that fear and that lack and that all the things again. So they're saying change is happening inevitably. How you maneuver through this change is dependent upon how clearly you can stay connected with your highest timeline, and how you can continue to forge forward in your perception of reality based on your highest frequency. Whoo, that's a big one. Let me know how this landed for you guys. I got to go back and listen to that again, because when channels come through, they just come through. I don't know. I have to go back and listen to it again. I'll probably be like, wow, I'm going to listen to that one again, because I have no idea what they really just said. I can feel it. I can feel the energy just pulsating through me. But the message itself, that was a channel for everybody, for me as well, right? So change energy coming through, you being able to be the one in control of this, and spend some time nurturing yourself. Spend some time really holding that love energy within your energy field. Spend some time there so that you can bask in it, so that you can get comfortable in it, because maybe you haven't spent a lot of time in that energy. Maybe you've spent more time in the old paradigm and now you're kind of relatively new to this frequency, right? So maybe you do need to separate yourself from old stuff in order for you to get really comfortable residing in this frequency, so that as you move forward through change energy, you're not like, oh boy, tower energy, I'm going in, like all this change is happening, I'm going to go hang out in this like culture that I'm used to being in. No shame. No shame. It happens. But the more that you can feel comfortable with the energy of this higher frequency, the more that you can like feel that resonance, so that that can become more comfortable for you. So that can become your new reality. That can become where you go home to. Is there anything else, Spirit, that the collective needs to hear at this moment? Okay, so when they say coming home to yourself and getting comfortable in that frequency, they're giving me an analogy like how it would feel like when you go in and you're perceiving the energy of what people would say like I want to say like coming home for the holidays, like for Christmas, but like that can actually be like a lot of like, no, I don't actually like that energy. So it's not like the actual memory of you going home for the holidays, but what the idea of like holiday energy would be like when you turn on the fireplace, you light some candles, you maybe plug in your tree, or you listen to your music, or maybe it's different traditions like when you come into your home space and you're lighting all your candles and you lay out your mat and you light some incense, and it's almost like that energy of coming home to yourself is when you picture yourself coming home to an environment of like the most peace, and where time is set aside for you to reside in this peaceful energy of what the desire of the holiday energy is supposed to be, sans consumerism, stress, family, whatever, all that stuff that has built upon the original idea of what hibernating in this energy is. I hope that you understand what this is. I get the energy and then I change it into words to give to you, and so that's how I transformed the energy into words. So I hope that landed. Okay, let me know what you guys think, how this landed for you. Let me know if you have any questions about this message. Please reach out. Like, generate a conversation in the comments, because that's always so great. The community is so amazing, and I'm so grateful for that. So let me know how this goes and what's coming up for you guys. Tune in on Saturday, because I do guided meditations and I do sound healing. This Saturday, my guys are very strongly guiding me to just do sound frequency, so that you can like listen to it in headphones, and the sound is about connecting you into your like highest frequency, so that it like permeates in and you can reside in this really high vibrational frequency. So I think I'm just going to jump in and do the recording right away with my sound bowls, so that I can continue to generate this energy, okay? And it'll come out on Saturday. So sending you tons of love. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, share, comment. All of that really helps grow my channel and helps to bring through the channels for more and more people. Okay, so I love you all very, very much. And I hope that you're taking care of your hearts during this time. I'll see you next week.